Welcome to Live and in Person. Today we have Cryptoad from Lucky Toad. He's here to tell us a little bit about what's going on.
Sweet. Yeah, my name's Adam. I live in Utah. I've been in crypto for a little while, and there's a lot of problems with crypto I've seen over time. And so that's a big part of what I'm building is building tools that makes crypto better in a whole. And s- and so that's what Lucky Toad is. We've our whole ecosystem is all MEV integrated, and so with that, we're able to build a lot of really cool tools in with our project. Um, and so, for example, just starting out with our tokenomics, we've got a first of its kind tokenomics, just jackpot reflections. Instead of normal reflections where you put tokens in a pool and you give pennies out to holders. What we do instead is when someone sells, 8% of your transaction uh, is sent to one lucky holder. And so if someone sells $100, one of our lucky holders gets an $8 Ethereum check, basically. So a pretty cool way to incentivize holding, and just a big benefit for our holders.
Nice. And, I know we had you on Live and in Person on Twitter, and, this is a little bit different platform. We're going to be showing a little bit about your website and about how your everything works. I'm sorry about the little bit of a bad introduction there, but I was trying to stream to Telegram and I was getting this ridiculous echo. So I threw my headphones on, didn't solve it. It caused a huge delay. So I apologize.
Oh yeah, no
But
worries.
yeah, so my name's Scott. I am lead dev and CEO of Heroes Token. We also have Astroverdi with us, which is our CXO of Heroes Token. He may chime in here from time to time, but he's here for emotional support mainly. But no, nonetheless, I loved everything we heard about with our Twitter live and in person that we had with you. And you have developed quite a bit since we had you on last. And I thought it was a great opportunity to have you back and just share a little bit more. But before we get into that, why don't we learn a little bit about you? Tell us a little bit about yourself, how you got into crypto, and what made you want to start this project.
Sweet. Yeah. Like I said earlier, my name's Adam. I live in Utah. Well, my normal job, I install security systems. Basically, have traveled the country all over the U.S. With my job. Um, with that, it's a summer job, and so in my off season, I get a lot of free time. And so just over time, I build these hobbies. It's something that I do pretty much 24/7, not having to work a day job, and crypto's really stuck with me. I probably got into crypto more blue chips in late 2020, and then really got into like the DeFi side around late 21. Um, and over that time, I've noticed a lot of problems with Ethereum, with just crypto in general. Um, and I've just been thinking of all these ways that we could improve things. Um, a lot of this stuff is something any coder could do. It's just the normal day-to-day user, they don't have access to these tools that can make crypto um, a more fair space. Because currently it's very developer coder um, focused. Those who can code, develop, they're usually the biggest winners in crypto, and so we're just trying to help bridge that gap, make it more fair for a normal day-to-day user.
Yeah, that's fantastic. And that kind of goes into we had this user uh, messaged what's the motivation behind the Lucky Toad project? So that kind of gets into that a little bit. Do you want to add to that?
Yeah. And so I guess a big a big chunk of that comes into like the swap we're building, a lot of the bot code we're building. That was kind of the thing that drew me to making Lucky Toad, is all of this really cool stuff that we could build with bots that no one else is doing. And so I just really I saw a market that's very underdeveloped, underutilized, and that's our big focus right now.
Right. And, that's, I think that goes without saying that there's a lot of stuff that's already readily available that maybe people just aren't aware of, or it hasn't hit the masses yet. And, you know, having projects like yours bring light to it and how it can benefit everyone is pretty awesome.
For sure. And like I said, a lot of this stuff is it's available for people who know how to code.
Hmm.
Um, but most people don't. So being able to bring those tools to an everyday user, through our use of the bot code, it's very very unique. It's kind of a first of its kind for a project. And so that's the bot code we're building is pretty much our bread and butter with this project.
Nice. So let's talk a little bit about your project, and I think we may have a giveaway coming up too before the end of the program, right? Uh,
Yes.
yeah, so that's pretty exciting. But let's talk about the token. So tell us a
Cool.
little bit about Lucky Toad.
Yeah, so I last time we came in, we were on a V2. And so what we've done, we launched V3 around late October. The biggest difference is now we have bot code integrated in with our contracts. Um, Issues we saw with our V2 is it was very gas expensive. In order for someone to make a swap before on V2, it was roughly 1.5 million gas units. Um, and that's with our very that's with the jackpot reflections. And obviously, 1.5 gas units is not sustainable. Um, in the bear market, it wasn't too bad because GWE gas fees were so low. But
Right.
going into a bull when a contract swap's going to cost you $400-500, it needed to be killed off. And so we've improved that integrated bot code into our contract. And the cool part about that too is if we ever need to make changes, we can. No,
Hmm.
normally, when you launch a contract, there's only a few changes you can actually make, like
Right.
changes to taxes, etc. But we're able to make more advanced changes, and it really future proofs this contract. So over time, since we've launched in October, we've improved our RNG code, um, and that's just one example of things we can change down the road. If jackpot reflections ever needs to be changed completely, we can easily change it to however we want. Um,
So how, and I'm just curious as a developer myself. I hear what you're saying. Like with our contract, we have the ability to go in and change taxes, change in the reward period for ITS. We have the ability to change the yield for ITS. We have the ability to transfer ownership. And these are all just basic functions that most contracts have, and that teams that have not renounced their contract can go in and make the adjustments if they need to. So you're saying that you can actually change more within the contract using the code that you have. How do you go about doing that?
so it's just a matter of, or I guess the way it works is when someone sells, the sells is when our Mev bot, our bot code gets interacted with. When someone sells their taxes, it doesn't. go straight into a wallet, or it doesn't go straight into the contract to be dispersed. It goes straight into our bot code. And then the bot disperses it however we've coded it to. So right now we've got the jackpot reflections, um, and the bot code takes care of all of that. And then like going into staking, the staking is completely run by Mev as well. So currently, when someone stakes, they're able to boost their jackpot odds. So they're more likely to win every time someone sells. And there's a staking section on that white paper if you pulled it up. Um, but same thing, since our staking contract is Mev run as well. Um, whenever we need to change staking, we can always change that at any time, really. And so it gives
Okay.
you just a lot more flexibility.
So I know the last time you went into a little bit more about what Mev was, and that is the bot that is doing all this for you, right? Uh,
Yes.
right. So is this a is this something that you can are planning on sharing, or is this something that is gonna you're gonna keep to yourselves and evolve and make it your own thing?
Um, I guess rephrase that.
So is this something that you will eventually offer to other projects that they can utilize, or is this something that you're going to keep to yourselves?
Okay, so like the code itself, the 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 bot code is kind of what makes us so unique. In the giveaway DApp, we do plan on building services that other projects can use. But as far as like open sourcing the information, we don't plan on that. But we do plan on building tools to let people use our ecosystem.
Yeah, that's great. So let's take a look here. Let's look at your tokenomics. 8% tax total looks like 3% to development, 3% to marketing, and 2% to the team. And then on the sell, you have 8% that go to your jackpot reflections. I know that's pretty awesome. Tell us a little bit more about that.
Yeah, so every time someone sells, like I said, that 8% tax gets sent straight to a MEV. When you're a lucky toad holder, every time a sell happens, basically every token you hold is essentially like a raffle ticket. And so if you have a million tokens, you have a million entries. If you have 10 million tokens, you have 10 million entries. So the more tokens you hold, the better your odds. Um, when a sell happens, that 8% jackpot reflections gets switched to ETH and sent to the holder. So we're not giving out native tokens. You are getting ETH for holding it. And we were initially thinking of doing tokens, but when you're giving people a consistent ETH over a long period of time, you're giving them a reason to never sell.
Right. That's right. Yeah. That's pretty awesome. So the larger your bag, the higher your chances of winning that jackpot. And that jackpot per sell goes to one person, or does that get distributed to a certain number?
So on smaller cells, it gets sent to one person. On larger cells, it'll usually get split in half and sent to two people.
Okay, nice. All right. So what are we talking about next? You lead me. I'm on your website.
Yeah. So this part isn't on the website, but it's just kind of um, it is very unique as well. Most projects too, when they collect buy taxes, there's no way to liquidate those buy taxes on the buy transaction. And so
Mhm.
what happens is, as people are buying your token, this tax wallet's building up over time. And as soon as the first sell comes in, well, it dumps that buy tax wallet. And so We found a way to actually liquidate those buy taxes. We don't have tax dumps on our chart because every time someone buys, the taxes get taken out and liquidated to ETH. The way that's done is we actually have two pools. We have an Ethereum pool and we have a USDC pool. So when someone buys, Uniswap will always find you the best price. And so when someone buys on the WETH pool, we liquidate their buy taxes on the USDC pool. When someone buys on the USDC pool, we liquidate it on the WETH pool. And so that's a big part. We only collect taxes that we are essentially entitled to. We're never selling more ETH on the project than we have to. And so over time, it creates a much healthier chart. Like I said, you're not getting tax dumps.
Right. So what you're essentially saying is your swap and liquefy happens on every transaction. It doesn't accumulate to a certain amount before it actually the contract actually activates it. Is that correct?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I said, there's no way to swap and liquefy buy taxes. There's only a way to liquefy taxes on the sell, but we found a way to do it on the buy. And like going more into that, the problem with that is as each buy happens and they get sent tokens for that buy tax, the chart's going up, and so that the price goes up. When a sell comes in, that tax wallet gets put in front of that sell, and they sell off way more Ethereum than they should have. So like I said, it just creates a much healthier chart. It's not the most appealing thing to look at DEX tools. It is a little bit more confusing, but for overall chart health, it is better in my opinion.
Yeah, and just to share a little bit how a normal swap and liquefy works is the project actually designates the amount of tokens that are accumulated or sells and buys that are accumulated before the contract actually goes to the swap and liquefy function. And what Cryptoad is talking about here is he's talking that a lot of these contracts, they take X amount, so they might take up 1% of the supply of the total project to transact in order for that swap and liquefy to activate. And when that happens, it shows as a sell in the chart. It's something that I know with, HEROS we had in the past. We have reduced that to a much smaller amount, so it's not noticeable. But what you guys have figured out is a way that it doesn't affect the chart at all. It actually takes it out of the transaction when it happens, which is kind of cool.
Yes.
That's very cool.
So like when someone buys and their tokens has a 1% price impact, that is like a real 1% price impact because we sell immediately when they buy. And then we have some MEV-bot code that will actually arbitrage our two pools. And so our USDC pool and our WETH pool will always remain almost identical.
Dude, that's awesome. I'm going to bring up your white paper here, or light paper, I guess. So we went over to the tokenomics, which is fantastic. Going down here to the jackpot. So this is with the cells and then your MEV bot, right?
Yep.
Okay. And, the more tokens you hold, the greater your chances of winning. Awesome. The giveaway DApp. So let's talk a little bit about this. Actually, let's wait for that. Let's wait for that because I think we're going to utilize that here in a minute and show how it works. Let's go to staking. So, are you staking with an internal platform, or have you utilized someone else's platform for your staking?
We've built our own.
Awesome.
So we have our own staking platform. Um, it works like no other staking platform. I've always felt like staking in a sense was flawed.
Mhm.
Mo there's ways to do it correctly, but most don't. Because the problem with staking, and it says it here in the white paper, that if you don't have a tax going directly towards staking or a tax directly towards um, building up your liquidity pool, staking over time becomes more of a gimmick. Yeah, you're getting all these tokens for free, but the dilution on your price doesn't make those tokens worth it, because you're just releasing more tokens into the circulating supply that can be sold on, and it can really damage a liquidity pool of any size.
Mhm.
And so what we've done differently, instead of giving out tokens, we've integrated into our jackpot reflections. So when you go to stake, you can stake between however long you want. You can do 1 week, you can do 6 months, and any time frame between that, and those will give you better odds on the jackpot reflections. So the smaller holders, if they believe in the project and they lock up their tokens for 6 months, um, you're able to get jackpot odds. Like a 6 month lock gives you 130% better jackpot odds. So if you had a million tokens, you lock those tokens up for 6 months, you technically have 202.3 million tokens towards the jackpot odds. And so it's our way of allowing people to lock their tokens, improve their odds, get a reward, but not harming our liquidity pool in any way.
Yeah, that's awesome. That is really great. And please, anybody in the chat, if you want, ask a question. I know I saw some comments in there that they want to hear from Corey. I don't know if he's going to be available, but all right, let's talk about Toad Swap.
Cool. Yeah, we just launched. We've just announced what we're doing with that. This part of the white paper is more of like the really long term stuff, but there's a lot of short term stuff we're starting to release with that. Um, one aspect of that is we're actually utilizing our MEV code for those swaps. And so we'll give people the ability of a gas loan, essentially. So not so much in this current market, but I'm sure everybody's familiar with having a decent amount of in a token, but they don't have that $200-300 gas fee to sell a token. Um, and so what our gas loans do is it'll pay that gas up front for you, and it'll pull it out of your transaction. And so it gives you a lot more flexibility with your swaps. Um, so for example, if you had $1,000 in a token, and you want to sell, but GWEI has spiked insanely, you're trying to hit the top of a candle, just trying to take profits, you can sell those tokens. We pay the gas for you. You don't have to worry. You don't have to carry $200-300 in your wallet just to cover gas anymore with us. You can carry a dollar or two to cover the approve, and then you can sell your position. It just gives you a lot more control, a lot more flexibility with each and every trade.
So, what networks is this available for? Is it only on Ethereum, or are you guys branching out to Binance, Polygon, any others?
So so at the moment we're only on Ethereum. Obviously, end goal will be to branch out. Probably starting with those with the highest liquidity or volume, BNB,
Mm-hmm.
etc. But right now we're really building on Ethereum, and then we will start branching off.
Nice. So this is actually really intriguing because if they use your DApp to, buy, or I guess it's just sell, right? Or would you use it
Buy
to buy?
uh buy and sell. When you're buying on our swap, we will actually be giving you a lot of other tools than just the gas loaning. The gas loaning's cool, um, but when using our swap, for example, you're never gonna have a failed transaction fee. If your transaction's gonna fail, it's just not gonna go through. Um, and I had counted up. I have a video of it out there, but I went through 100,000 transactions of my 132 holders. We went through. I counted up all of the failed transaction fees, and it was $28,000.
Yeah, yeah.
28
Hold on. We'll
146.
we'll play this one more time just in case anyone missed it.
Beautiful. Yeah.
Yeah, nice.
So 28 grand over 132 holders. That's roughly $213 a holder that they've paid in failed transaction fees over time. The most expensive failed transaction fee I saw was $318.
Wow.
There's an insane amount of money going to the miners and now the validators that is just purely wasted money. There
Mhm.
and so when you buy on our swap, when you sell on our swap, you're not paying these. You're not having to worry about failed transaction fees. Like I said, if it's gonna fail, our code's gonna see that and it just won't submit. It'll just it will save you money using our swap. Um, and we've got a lot of other cool stuff planned with our swap. We have the gas loaning, we have the no failed transaction fees. We're still releasing information on that day to day. But like another example is it will automatically figure out your slippage, so you're not having to. Everybody knows on Uniswap, you hit confirm, does nothing, raise it a few points, does nothing, and you just like keep going back and forth with Uniswap until it gives you an approve button. And it's very tedious. And
So you're saying that if, let's say, token X is launching, tomorrow, and I want to get in and, jump in early on that, I don't have to, really adjust my taxes or my slippage. I can actually just go through your DApp and put in the amount that I want to initially buy, and it will push it through. Now, what
yes.
what is the, I guess, the percentage in a situation like that that it fails? Will it automatically calculate that, okay, in order for this transaction to go through, you need to have, 38% slippage, and it calculates that, does it, and then pushes it through? What is the success to fail transaction rate here with your DApp?
So with that, we plan on showing you the slippage beforehand. And so when you go to buy, you're not guessing the slippage, you're being shown the slippage. And so
Okay.
when there's a lot of buy pressure, obviously slippage will need to be raised. Um, but we're showing you that information. We're taking care of it for you. And with stuff like that, this is another thing that we've not announced, but with stuff like that, we'll be able to give you front of block positioning. And so on a launch, when you buy with us, we can help you get to the front of the block and get you better prices.
Wow. So that's pretty awesome. Um, there. This question just popped up from John. Is ToadSwap live already? I don't
It,
see it on the site.
it is not. We're looking at a late Q4, early Q1 launch on that. So we're anywhere between a good amount of the code's already been done, but I gave that early Q1. Obviously, it needs to be bug tested. The UI needs to work perfect. And so we're not going to release that until it's 110% ready. Um, and so it's not something that we're trying to rush through. It's something we're trying to do right.
Awesome. And you know, I mean, that's pretty massive. I mean, that's awesome in itself, and I can't wait for it to go live. I want to definitely try it out.
And
Um,
like I was saying before, these are all things that coders have been able to do. You need to know how to code to do this, but we're giving you these tools to make it possible for everyday users to take to use Ethereum, to use crypto fairly.
nice. Dude, I love that. And I love the fact that you pull the taxes out of like the cells, so that if somebody is, you know, in a position where they want to take profits, they don't want to take the time to wait for whatever on ramping to get funds on there to do this transaction. They can actually just go in, sell their position or sell a portion of their position, and your DApp will actually pull the taxes out of, or the gas fees out
Yeah.
of the actual transaction itself. I mean, that's huge.
Yeah. And the only Ethereum you'll need is the approval. There's a few contracts that won't need approvals. There's permitting you can put in contracts. Most people don't, but
Mhm.
a lot of large tokens, especially those who have launched a V2, you will not need to approve it before you sell. Um, Cult, for example, has that permitting. Dai has that permitting. So with most tokens, if you buy on Uniswap and sell on ToadSwap, you'll need to approve it. If you buy on ToadSwap, sell on ToadSwap, you won't need approval. But for the more rare cases, if you buy Cult on Uniswap and sell on ToadSwap, you won't need to approve it because that contract has that permitting built in. Hopefully, over time, um, contracts start to add that in more often, and it'll just be an easier experience, a more seamless experience in the future.
Nice. So I'm guessing that all these dApps that you're building uh, are going to yield some kind of income for your project. Is that correct?
Yes, obviously we're not a charity. We're here to make money, and we're here to put that money directly back into our holders. And so, income we make off of our utilities, they will go straight into uh, buyback burns, liquidity injections, to over just improve the token's price to make it a depreciating asset.
Nice.
Or
And yeah, and
yeah.
what kind of a percentage are we looking at there? So like if I want to use your dApp to buy in on a launch or to sell something I'm holding, what percentage of that gets pulled in that transaction fee?
So we've not worked that out yet. We've not come out with a good number. And so that'll be something that we'll announce when we're closer to launching it. Um, it won't be a crazy amount. Obviously, we want people to use our swap. We want our swap to be the go-to. Instead of you clicking on Uniswap every time you want to trade, we want you to come to ToadSwap. You can take advantage of our tools that make trading on Ethereum a, a healthier a healthier experience, not having to worry about the failed transaction fees. So the as well as the block positioning buys. Our swap, we're trying to get you a better price and uh, like an insured, not insured, but just make it a safer transaction overall.
Right. And I mean, I think as a person that's looking at your project and determining whether there's value in using this, I think the question there should be, how much does it cost for you to add funds to whatever, format you use to bring money into the Web3? And then how much does it cost to transfer those funds from that platform to the wallet that you're using in order to do that buy or sell? Right. I mean, those all cost fees.
Hmm.
So, really, when you boil it down, you'll be able to really essentially on a sell avoid a lot of those fees, which would, I guess, justify whatever fee you're charging to do that. Also, on the buys, I mean, if the bot is designed that it's going to make sure that you get in and on a launch, I mean, I've been in a couple of launches where I spent, five, six, $700 just trying to get a transaction to go through, and that is nuts. And
Yeah.
I would definitely never want to do that again. And I've actually vowed, because I've noticed that lately launches they go up and within 24 hours they go down, and there's an excellent entry point, and you always get in.
Yeah.
Here you could get in super early. You don't have to worry about those transactions failing and losing those funds. So that
Yeah.
is fantastic. I love that. um,
Yeah. And you figure if you buy $200 in a token, but you've spent $100 just on the gas to get in, you had
mhm.
two failed transactions, you have to 2x just to break even. And
Right.
so, like I said, just making it a more fair experience for those who don't code, for the everyday user.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. And I again, you made a good point there. A lot of people, when they are entering a position, they do not really account for the gas fee. They just take that as that happens.
Yeah.
But if you enter a position, especially in the bull run, when you're buying into a launch, a gas fee could have been upwards of $500 for that transaction. You have to account for that in your ROI in order to take profit. So, when you go up, you're thinking, okay, well, I initially invested this much. In order for me to cover that gas and exiting gas fees, I got to I have to really, plan a 7x or a 10x before I can, take profit, because otherwise it just doesn't make sense.
Yeah, and with that, since you're required to have gas to fund the exit, you're not able to put as much money in. And so it requires the price to go higher to recover those fees.
Yep. Dude, that's fantastic. And again, the chat's open. If anyone has any questions, we'll pop it up here and make sure that we get them answered. Um, yep, there's another one. We want to see Astro. Uh, I don't know what that's all about. I mean, geez, this guy's popular. So let's move on to your launchpad. Um, so tell us a little bit about this and how you're planning on utilizing it in your project.
Yeah, so the launch pads, it's going to be unique, in the fact that it'll all be an automated process. And so this is more looking down the road, looking into next year, but there's a lot of well-intentioned um, people who want to launch a project, who have an idea that they want to bring to the crypto space, but the barrier of entry is quite a bit, especially to do one from a source that's not going to screw you over. We saw this with Koa Combat, for example. They launched a V2 because their V1 was rugged by their contract dev. Like that should not be a thing. You should not have to look out um at a Fiverr dev, so you to launch your project. Obviously, when you go to Fiverr dev or any other dev, they're the ones who have all of the control. You've spent all this money, um, and so we're with that giving control back to the people who want to launch a project but don't really know how to. Um, and we're doing that in a way of not charging high upfront fees. I think right now if you want an Ethereum contract made by a reputable source, you're looking at between 1 to 3, 4 Ethereum just for a contract. But with our Launchpad, instead of us charging those fees upfront, we're just going to add a really small tax onto your contracts, that we take out automatically, that will essentially pay for us to make that contract. And we'll be integrating some anti-rug measures in this, so a contract launched on our platform can't rug. Um, but the goal with this is you'll have like a step-by-step contract builder. You'll punch in the tax, you'll punch in um, the what those taxes are going to, any unique things you want, like a anti-whale dump, or having taxes going towards a liquidity injection, whatnot. You'll just punch all that information in. Um, it'll make the contract, and then you'll be able to launch using our anti our anti-snipe protection. Then and the way our anti-snipe works is also very unique. When most projects launch, they pop up on Dex tools, and so people who are sniping projects, they go look at that contract, they verify it's the correct one, check the liquidity matches, etc. And then they just wait for the contract to start trading.
Yep.
The way the snipe protection we have is the second we pop up on live new pairs, we're live. So we don't give people the time to look things over. And so snipers don't know if they're buying into a scam or the actual contract.
So you guys are writing these contracts. You're adding, I guess it would look like a tax as far as your fee.
Yep.
That would be written into the contract. Now, will that be something that can be adjusted in the contract at any point in time down the road? And just out of curiosity.
Like from our end,
Well, from
or
anyone's end. And my only thought there is, this is great. You guys are putting out a product that is not costing anybody anything up front. It is actually pulling it from, in the case of a sell, it is pulling it from what you're selling to pay for the gas fees. In the
yep.
case of the contract, you're actually creating these contracts and you're putting a percentage in there to recoup your fee for creating that contract. So at one point here, can somebody go in and change that rate of return that gets paid to you guys to a higher amount later on?
A higher amount.
Yeah, so well, let's just use
Or
1%
any amount.
for right, any amount.
Like they wouldn't be able to go in and change it. I mean, this is going to be a small fee on overall volume. It's not going to be 2-3%. It's going to be a percentage of, or yeah, it'll be a percentage of a percent. And so just a really small fee that's not really going to be noticed, but will bring income coming into our projects. And the more projects that launch on us, it's just a numbers game at that point.
Right. And then, I guess going back to that, so who has the control of the contract that they can make those changes. And I'm just, this is just what's coming to mind is that if you turn over the contract to whoever made the purchase, they can go in and turn that tax off, right? And then you get nothing. You know, what security do you have that you're going to make sure that you're getting your cut for creating that contract, as well as, you know, the security they have that you're not going to change that tax to 5% at some point.
So they would have the keys. We wouldn't we wouldn't keep the keys on that. And we would lock it into the contract. Make that an aspect of it that can't be
Yep.
changed.
Okay, that was my question.
Okay.
Is that going to be changeable? And you know, it makes sense that it's not. You know, and you're providing a service, and that is a smart way to do it. You know, especially if your contracts are solid, unique contracts. You want to make sure that you're getting, you know, a proper amount that is worth what you've created, right?
Yeah.
You know, a lot of these projects that create contracts, it's a one-time fee and then that's the end of it. But if it's a very unique contract that it just kind of stands apart, you know, that it's almost like, you know, cutting edge. You're introducing something new to the market that wasn't there before, and you're selling it for a flat price. Where, you know, it could be something that, well, if it's, you know, good, it's, you know, something that you want to be rewarded on, right?
Yeah.
And a percentage of a percentage is fair. So, dude, I love that. And who are you? One of the contract writers, or do you have a team?
I'm not. Riley does all of the developing for me. Um, and so Riley actually got a start in crypto with bot stuff. And so that's why I've picked his brain a lot of all of this bot code we could make. But he's also in a really good contract dev. He knows his stuff. Genuinely, he's kind of a genius in this space. And so he'll do all the coding for that, and then just piecing it up with some UI to make it a usable platform.
Nice. Cool. So now let's go up to your giveaway DAP. So tell us a little bit about this.
Perfect. Yeah. So this is a tool that we give people the ability to utilize the RNG code. It's the same code that runs our tokenomics. And so this was a utility that's not been made, but it didn't take too much because we already built the code for it. And so we just give other people the ability to use it. And what it does is it runs the giveaway, it verifies it on the blockchain, and it turns any giveaway into a trustless transaction. And so if I'm in a project that's doing a buy competition where I buy $50 and I can get a chance at $50 back, I don't have to rely on the devs being honest. Because if they use this DApp, it it like I said, it turns it into a trustless transaction. It will pick the winners. It'll auto distribute the prizes all in one transaction. And so it's
Nice.
not that I can run this giveaway and just keep running it until I see the list of winners I want. The
Hmm.
second I submit it, the ETH is out. It's sent. And then um, there you currently upload a spreadsheet. This is kind of a tool that's in beta right now. We do plan on building some automatic features into it where when you use our giveaway DApp, you can pre-select a type of competition, submit your Ethereum, and when that competition is over, it will take care of that. So if you were to do a biggest buy comp, you could make that. You could just submit your ETH. when the biggest buy comp is done, it sends it out. But right now it's an Excel spreadsheet that you upload. So right now you do have to grab the data, but when you submit that data to the spreadsheet you upload, that information is stored on the blockchain. And so if you're ever worried about a dev who potentially could have messed with the spreadsheet they uploaded, all of that information can be 100% verified on the blockchain. You can make sure that every wallet had the right amount of entries and they didn't mess with the spreadsheet on their end to give things an unfair advantage.
Nice. And I think we had mentioned something about a giveaway, but I don't know. I'm trying to recall.
Yeah,
Can anyone in
so
the chat remind me? Are we giving something away? No one's talking. Yeah, go ahead. I interrupted you there.
No, you're good. Oh yeah, and then going into this, obviously I wanted us to see how this giveaway DApp works, show people how seamless it is. This should be a tool that when people are giving away random prizes, they use this. It makes it fair, makes it so people don't have to worry. To change that, you would hit back. Yeah. And then back again, and then back again, and then back. Cool. Yeah, so it'd be 0.4, but yeah, so we just sponsored a buy competition. So anyone who bought $50, when we go into this, they'll have a chance of winning $50.
Who wants to win $50? Come on.
And so these buys were pulled over the last couple or today and yesterday. And so then we can start walking through this. So we're giving away 04.
Yep. So we're gonna hit continue.
And then there's gonna be one winner. The cool part about this is if you're having multiple winners, it does it all at the same time. You're not having to send 3-4 different Ethereum transactions, finding each winner. It makes it a seamless process.
All right. So 0.04 to one winner.
Perfect.
So continue, and then we have to.
Yeah,
we could download the template here if we wanted to. So if you need a template to use, I did check this out. It's right here, and you can just fill that in and then go back and then upload it. So we hit continue, right?
Yep.
Choose file, and we'll put this over here. Desktop, open, and then we hit find winner.
Yep.
Here we go.
And then it'll pop up your wallet. You'll just need to approve the transaction here in a sec. Here, let me. So
could it be because I had this on idle for a period?
No, it's looking like maybe it didn't like the spreadsheets.
Uh-oh.
Here, let me take a look at what I sent you and make sure it looks right. Here, try rerunning it. Like close out of the browser and then start it back up. Yeah, what I sent you is right.
All right, that.
I did say it's in beta, but okay, yeah, so we can hit the get started and just click through it again.
I'm sorry, I was muted. I can give away heroes, or is this just Lucky Toad?
No, you can give away heroes as well. You can do any
Nice.
Ethereum native token.
All right. And 0.04. Continue. 1. Continue. Continue.
Huh. Yeah, it's actually not loading on my end either. I'll
open and find winner.
here. Sorry, I'm taking a look.
All good. Well, the upside is it's under beta, so you got time to figure it out. But this is how things work, right? When you want them to work, they don't, especially when you're on a prototype level.
Yeah, and especially live. We like Kadachi's run it a few times, and it's worked beautifully. We'll still make sure this giveaway gets sent out, but yeah, on my end it's not loading. So
okay. So we'll just close this out.
Yeah, I'll be checking with Riley on that.
All right, no worries. I will do that again, and we'll just kind of hang tight because I really want to demonstrate how this works and show people what it looks like, and be fair. So we have that that section of people that have purchased $50 worth of heroes in the last 2 days, and we'll run that again here, and we'll do it live so everyone can see how it works. So that's all. Awesome.
Yeah, Riley's in Australia and he'll need to take a look. So I guess worst case, you run it later and you just take a screenshot of the winner. But that was kind of the process, and then it just pops up the winner page at the end.
Nice.
Like I said, it's still in beta. We're still working out some stuff, but it's for it to not work on a live stream, but work every other time is up to par.
It's Murphy's Law, right? It's just bound to happen.
Definitely.
All right, so we did not go over your roadmap here. So we do have Uniswap launch happened, website launch, obviously, 500 Telegram members, marketing begins.
Which we are like 15 away. So if you are not in our Telegram, it's just t.me/luckytoad. We're very close.
Yep. There it is. It's right on their website. All you have to do is click on this little icon right here. They only need 15 more people. Everyone that's watching this stream, jump in and join their Telegram. Let's get them over that 500 mark. 1 year liquidity lock. And that's through
Unicrypt.
Unicrypt. Okay,
did not. This happened right after the team finance, and so we did not go team finance.
Yeah, that's good. White paper release, obviously. CoinGecko and CoinMarketCap.
Those are so hard in this market. In the bull, everything did insane amount of volume, no matter what the coin did.
Right.
So we're still working on that. We are on Guardian right now. And so you can view all of our information on Guardian. Well, we're working on getting some more info thrown up on this website, but the Guardian link is posted in our Telegram.
Yeah, and Guardian platform is an awesome platform. We are also on that, Heroes, and they have this. I gave them a shout out the other night on Believes, where they asked where I got my crypto news, and I gave them a shout out for their Herald, which is a cool format where projects can go in, give updates, and share what they're working on, which I find a lot of value in, because the projects that are on there they can't be on there unless they're legit, right? So not only are they legit because they've already went through the vetting process that Guardian platform has, but now you're getting updates directly from that platform on what's going on, and it puts it all in one place, which is really cool. So
Yeah.
yeah, awesome. And really, I mean, CoinGecko and CoinMarketCap, I know we've talked to a couple of projects that are looking to replace that. And I think somebody will. I think there's something going on there that, is, it shouldn't be that hard, right? They should have, legitimate, real people looking at the applications and saying, okay, this project meets these requirements and our algorithm is still not allowing them to get listed. Why is that? And actually have a person that reaches out. When we went to our V2 and we were trying to get the update done, it was almost impossible to get them to update us from our V1 listing, which we already had, to V2 and then listing on both Binance and Ethereum. And I'll send a shout out to Lo because he had the patience and the know-how to get it done. But I think that unless they make some changes, there is somebody else that's going to come up and replace them.
Yeah.
Um,
They've just been around for so long, so their user base is huge. But over time, I mean, devs in this market especially are getting very frustrated. The fact that the barrier of entry is insane amount of volume, and you don't have a person you're talking to. You're just the system.
Right. Contract audit. Who audited your contract?
So that's not been done.
Okay.
I am looking at getting Interfi to do our contract audit. It's not been done yet. I did KYC, but I don't know how NFTs work. So I'm trying to figure out how to get that moved over. But I have KYC'd, and that's through Vericheck.me.
Okay. Nice. All right. And then stage 3, have we done any of this yet? Which I see there's some things we talked about today that are on here. But I'll let you
So
go ahead.
the giveaway dApp's live, staking's live.
All right. Lilypad is coming.
And then
so,
the derivative / betting platform, that'll more turn into like a leverage platform. And so the goal with that is integrating into our swap. Since we have all these cool features, another thing we plan on adding down the road is the ability to leverage your trades. So if you want to buy into a project to make a 1 ETH purchase on a token with 8% taxes in and out, it would only require 0.15 Ethereum capital up front. So with that, leverage depends fully on a token's tax and the gas on it, of course. And then you can set a leverage price. And if that transaction were to ever go in the red, obviously when you're leveraging, there's always going to be a liquidation price. And so you'll set your liquidation price with collateral, and if a sell were to ever come in that were to put you below your liquidation price, we would front run that transaction and sell out, liquidate your position. That way you're never going in the negative on a leverage trade.
Nice. And where is your project based out of? So the one dev you said is in Australia?
Yes, Riley's in Australia. I am in Utah.
Right. So you're basing this out of Australia, I'm guessing?
Yeah, everything's based in Australia.
Okay, well, that would make sense. Perfect. And we went over the trustless automated. Cool. Well, is there anything we missed?
No, I think we've gone over everything. I'll this is kind of this other aspect working into Toad Swap is gonna come in later versions. And initially I was gonna not say anything about it, but I think this is a good place to give out a little alpha. But going into later versions of our swap, we are gonna be working on candle buys, and so there's a lot. Several times when you will buy into a project and then a series of sales comes in immediately after yours, which is very, very unfortunate. If you had just waited 5 more minutes, you would have got a much better price. But with our candle buys, is when you submit your buy, it'll wait for another buy to come in, and then um, buy in front of that purchase. So you submit your buy, and if sales are coming in, you're not in the project yet. You're in the project as soon as someone else buys. And so this gives you the ability to really buy and sell the top of every candle. So that's going to be coming in later versions. That I've not told anybody to.
Okay.
So
well, that's kind of interesting. So wow. Yeah, I'm kind of intrigued by that.
And so when I was looking at it, I was just going over a few projects where there was one unfortunate person who had bought, and then there was 10 sales after, and they could have got 10%, 15% more tokens if they had just waited, if they were able to wait. And so like I said, that this is something that coders have always been able to do. And it really is an unfair experience, but by giving this, turning this into a tool that everybody can use, it levels the playing field. And so, yeah, being able to time your buys without having to be constantly watching things, it really, what we're building, it really is really fascinating. We're trying to give people value in this space, by protecting their transactions, by getting them better prices on tokens. When you use our swap, it'll be a seamless, more efficient experience overall.
Nice. Yeah, and that's pretty awesome. I love everything that you guys are doing. I love the utility that you're adding to the project, and you've come so far from when we had you on our Twitter Spaces. So this is pretty awesome.
Yeah, definitely. And that was the bigger reason I wanted to do this again, because there's so much more that we've built, and we've made pivots where we've needed to, and so I think big things are ahead.
Yep.
There's other swaps that are coming out right now, not to name names, but I think they're gimmicks. This isn't a gimmick. This is real value we're providing anybody who uses our swap.
Nice. I love that. Well, we've been going for an hour and 10 minutes, so I think we've covered everything. Any closing statements that you want to just throw in there?
Not at all. I think I really just made my my closing statements. But join our Telegram, t.me/luckytoad. Our website's here on the screen, luckytoad.dev. Twitter handle @luckytoadeth. But we're building some pretty cool stuff. Our chart, especially since we announced yesterday's no failed transaction, has been looking pretty good.
Nice.
Appreciate that.
Yep. And we're going to throw one of these in there too for you. There you go. No, that's great. And again, we appreciate you coming on and joining us for this and sharing your project. And I am not going to make that pick that winner until you reach out to me and say, "Hey,
Yeah,
we're
I'll
good to go," and then we're going to do it live on our YouTube channel. So,
sweet.
I want to make sure that everyone can see how that works, because I know that was one of the things you wanted to do today. Um,
Yeah,
so yeah, when we get that fixed and running, we'll schedule a time and have you come on, and it might be with another project, but we'll just kind of jump ahead of them and just show how that works before we go into them. But
awesome.
I do appreciate you joining us. Again, this is a space where we're sharing the different projects that are in the crypto world, in Web3, what they're doing, what they're building. Lucky Toad has really come miles, even from the last time we had them on Twitter Spaces. And you guys are just doing a phenomenal job. I'm super excited. And, I'm going to definitely be in contact about some things. And I'm sure we're going to be using your giveaway bot as soon as you get that figured out. But yeah, like and subscribe, follow our channel, help us get that algorithm up and going so we can share these great projects with more people. And thank you guys so much for joining.
Sweet. Thank you, Scott.
Thanks. Bye bye.
Bye.